Hey everybody, it's your boy Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast, your host of the number one podcast coming to you live in America. And today we are going to get black. We are going to get blackety black. We are going to get black and we are going to talk about a topic that has been on my heart. And I found the perfect, wonderful, stupendous woman that can represent this topic across the board. And it's Women's History Month. It's Women's Month. And so she is dynamic. I can't hold this woman back any further. So we are just going to dive right in. I am so excited to introduce my special guest today. So here we Hey everybody, it's your boy Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast, your host of the number one podcast coming to you live in America. And today we have Miss Adrena Martin. She's an entrepreneur, creator, author, hailing all the way from Illinois. She's a creator of the VEU Magazine, which stands for Visionaries and Entrepreneurs United, which is a digital and print publication with a focus on business, entrepreneurship, and thought leaders. Her journey is amazing. Her journey into entrepreneurship started while finishing her last year as a student at Tuskegee University in 2012. The initial launch of VEU Magazine 2015 gave Miss Adrena the ability to connect with a plethora of entrepreneurs, authors, visionaries around the world. In late 2017, she realized the necessity for HBCU awareness and started Historically Black Sense, which is on all social media platforms. She's on Instagram, Facebook, you name it, she's in it. And she is putting HBCU in the biggest limelight, and she's shining a light. This shining star coming to the stage, Miss Adrena. Hey! Welcome to the platform. Thank you for joining us on Gentleman Style Podcast. We appreciate you, Queen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. I love this. I love what it is you're doing. I have been stalking your page and stealing little tidbits and tricks, but you all have to check Miss Adrena out. What she's doing is absolutely phenomenal, and it's absolutely needed, especially in the time we are in. So Miss Adrena, tell us what's your story. What inspired you to start Historically Black Sense?
Yeah, so Historically Black Sense, interesting because it actually started off as just an apparel company. I was like, okay, I just want to create some designs, some nice HBCU and Greek designs, and I started the page. And so that's literally what it was. Like I had no, thoughts of it being what it is today. And so I did it for maybe a couple months, but then, I had a lot of other stuff, personal stuff going on. So I just put the page away and kind of forgot about it for almost a year. And then it wasn't until the end of 2018, I don't know, something was just like, let me just start this back up. So I still had the initial idea of just doing t-shirts and accessories. And then, of course, I started to, certain things I would post, I noticed it started to really get a lot of engagement and the community just started to grow. And then I'm like, this is it's kind of turning into a direction more of a community versus just what I'm doing. And so I really, had to ask myself, okay, what do I want to focus on the most? Do I want to focus on just selling, merchandise, or do I want to focus on really building this community? And because of my experience with VEU Magazine, I'm like, okay, I enjoy community building. I enjoy building communities around what I do. And so I'm like, okay, the merchandise is still there and that can be secondary, but I'm like, let me just really focus on building this as an actual media platform and really putting on for HBCUs, for the whole community. And so that's the story behind it.
You have been on the grind, and might I add, your page is phenomenal. It is one of the best representations that I ever have seen of historically Black people. I feel inspired. I want to get my African garb out every time I go to your page. And I want to support you in every way fashionable. That's why I got so excited when you came on the show. So you've been doing entrepreneurship for a long time.
Yes, it's been almost 10 years. I think it's 9 years this year. But yeah, as soon as I graduated from Tuskegee, I I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but initially I wasn't sure. But I've always been creative. So I initially started off as a fashion designer. So I taught myself how to sew, and yes, I know.
She
I
does
taught
it
myself
all.
I taught myself how to sew. Well, I initially started off doing jewelry, right? So I just started doing like little bracelets, earrings, things like that. Well, then I'm
Very
like,
nice.
I want to actually control my whole look. So I taught myself how to sew just from YouTube and Google, YouTube University. And that was it. I started doing custom items. I would meet people, do measurements, fashion shows. Yeah, I've done all of that. And so wrote a book in between, and then VEU Magazine came in 2015. And so that's when my whole media experience started. And so, I mean, it's interesting because what I went to school for is like, it's completely almost opposite of what I'm doing now, even though it's still, marketing. My degree's in sales and marketing. So that's, you can
Okay.
pretty much use that in anything. But I mean, just everything else from the media side. Like, I never expected to be into journalism and media. I didn't know nothing about it. So once again, you go to YouTube University and Google, and you can pretty much become whatever you want to from that. So, yeah.
And you literally done that. You have literally, you're self-taught, and that's amazing. That's a unique quality to have, and to be able to
Mm-hmm.
just revamp and become whatever your business needs you to be. That's
Mm-hmm.
huge. That's major.
Yeah. Thank
Well,
you.
I've always wondered, what's the difference between HBCU and a traditional university?
So traditional, we'll just call it PWIs, right? So, I mean, honestly, that's what I tell people at HBCU. The experience that you get from an HBCU is unlike anything else. Of course, they're both going to educate you, but for me, the main difference was, of course, it's a smaller setting. So when you go to an HBCU, you're not just a number. The classrooms are a lot smaller, and the professors, they're literally like your extended family. You have professors who will check up on you if you're not coming to class. They'll check up on you. The cafeteria workers. It's literally like family. Like, I literally can go on campus right now, and the same professors that I had class with almost 10 years ago, it's the same relationship. Cafeteria workers, it's the same. We hug it out, and it's literally like an extended family that just never goes away. And I look at Tuskegee as like my second home, literally. So, I mean, I could go on and on, but I mean, those are just a few of the key differences: the class sizes and the intimacy and the family like environment that you get. Hmm.
That's powerful, and that's powerful. Would you recommend every parent send their black child or daughter, black son or daughter, to attend an HBCU? Why or why not?
Oh yes, I'm gonna say yes all day long. I think every black person in America should experience an HBCU. I mean, because like I said, like the experience, and really too, you learn so much about who you are, and it's. I've seen a quote on Twitter. I think it goes something like, "You have your whole life to be a part of." What is it, to be a minority or something like that? Why not spend
Ooh.
a few years of your life being the majority, being around your own people, and you learn so much about just your culture, Black history. I mean, it's just so many different things that you learn about yourself and about your people. You just like literally you wake up to Black excellence all day long. You wake up to it, go to sleep to it all day long. I mean, it's just nothing else like it. So nothing else.
Ch-
Yes.
Check out her page, y'all. We are looking at her page. This is historically black since, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously I'm following. I'm following. You all should follow too. But look at this. Look at this. Powerful, dynamic women and men just killing it. And you're not going to
Yes.
get this power of culture. You're not going to get this diversity, this level of diversity anywhere else. I love this
Mm-mm.
representation. I love the community atmosphere that you just represented and you just talked about. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
This inspires. You are inspirational,
Oh,
right?
thank you.
This
Yes.
is
Thank you.
this is major, and this is. I can't imagine this
Yes.
took some. Did you meet us on the art? Tell us what is this we're looking at? Is this an event? Obviously,
Yes. So
what's
that was something we actually just did that last night. So that's actually something new we're starting. Meet us on the yard. So I'm like, okay, like I said, I enjoy creating community and building experiences. And obviously, a lot of stuff is virtual now. We really can't have the real yard experience, and especially like the homecoming. So I'm like, let me start something virtually. So yesterday was actually the first one. So it's going to be something we do once a month. I was debating should we do it once a week or every 2 weeks, but I'm like, I think we're going to do it once a month and really just bring the yard to Instagram. So with the one we did yesterday, we had various student leaders that we featured. And so we just talked to them about what is it like being a student leader on campus. We had the Mr. and Mrs. of quite a few universities. We had SGA presidents, senators. We had all kind of student leaders from, and as you can see, the list of HBCUs that are represented there. And so for our next one, we're just really going to build on that and incorporate really bringing that yard. So we'll probably do like a virtual stroll off next time. We'll probably do, just have just all kind of stuff. But that's what that's all about. So definitely tune in.
You look like you stomp in the yard. You look like you be out there clapping and stomping. You got the oh my gosh. We got to go to a quick commercial break, y'all. We are here with the incredible, amazing Miss Adrena and her company, her brand, Historically Black Sense. We will be right back. Tune in. We'll see you guys soon. Good day, podcast listeners. This is your boy, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I wanted to let you guys know that we will be rolling out a new feature and adding a join sponsor button next to the subscriber button here at the bottom of your screen. Once you click the button, it will display 3 membership levels. Gentleman Gentry, which is our entry level, Duke Duchess, which is our season level, and the Emperor and Empress, which is our most sophisticated level, which you will receive unique perks and benefits at each differing level and gain access to our community tab. We will also be sharing polls, upcoming events, and interviews, as well as receive feedback from our sponsors directly. Your support helps me find new and exciting guests to bring to the stage live. Well, in order to get the higher end speakers, it requires, you guessed it, money. So thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if becoming a sponsor sounds good to you, then select the join button below and choose your desired sponsor level. Let's continue to grow and serve the future of generations of men and women to come. Love you guys. Bye. Hey everybody, this is Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast. We have a stupendous speaker, hard worker, entrepreneur, business, sales, and marketing guru here on the show, Miss Adrena Martin, spilling the tea on HBCU and Black culture, Greek life, and what it's like and the benefits and the pros and cons of bringing Black culture to major university and the benefits of that. So, Miss Adrena, tell us, who is, I got to ask, and I think I know, but I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to guess it yet. Put your guesses in the comments. Who is, if you could have lunch with any Black historical figure and spend time with them and just pick their brain, who would you have lunch with? Who would you want to sit and just talk to and just learn from?
Do they have to be alive or can it be?
They do not have to be alive.
Okay.
We're not talking Walking Dead though. We're not talking zombie comeback.
Okay. No. I would say Annie Malone.
Why?
Annie Malone. So I would have to say Annie Malone because a lot of people only know Madam C.J. Walker, right? They usually, they kind of think that Madam C.J. Walker was the first to do it. Well, before Madam C.J. Walker, there was Annie Malone, who Madam C.J. Walker, she pretty much got her whole business model from it. So for me, she was one of the first self-made millionaires, Annie Malone, first Black self-made millionaires. And just to see what she was able to build, I mean, she built a whole beauty empire, a whole college where she was able to employ other women. And so for me, just being able to see what the women were able to do back then. I was talking to somebody else about this, another conversation. I'm like, I get so inspired when I look at our history and I see what they were able to do back then was so little. I'm like, they had no social media, they had no emails, no Google, none of that. But this woman was able to build a whole beauty empire, like with nothing, like literally from nothing. So, and I look at myself, I'm like, okay, if she was able to do this with the limited amount of resources that she had, imagine what myself and other people like me can do with all the resources in the world right now. So definitely, yes, Annie Malone. Definitely. Hmm.
Woo! I'm
Yes.
gonna have to add her to the list. She's going on the list. That's huge
Hmm.
and that's major. And what you said is right. Back then, being a person of influence, you had to bring it, right? You had to really have a passion for what you do, to be Rosa Parks, to the Coretta Scotts, the Martin Luthers. You had to have a passion and to be able to move a body of us, a body of people in unison takes coordination, especially when in the age of you don't have internet, you don't have social media, and to be able to move so many people and to touch so many lives and impact so many lives, that's powerful. You're right.
Hmm.
You are so right. I think I would want to
Yes.
have lunch with several. I can't just pick one, but I think I would want to sit down with Malcolm X to kind of pick his brain.
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's honestly, it's so many others. And for me, I think I would sit down with all the women. Like I can keep going, like Violet T. Lewis, who started the Lewis College of Business, which was the only HBCU in Detroit, Michigan. Who, I mean, it's so many other women that, and like I said, like you just said, to be somebody of influence back then, you had to really be doing some things. It wasn't just let me hop online today and tomorrow I'm famous from from social media. Like, no, like these women were really putting in the work. They were really making moves back then. Like I said, with nothing. They was raising kids, husbands, going through divorce, like all kind of situations. But it's like just to see what they were able to do and accomplish and create. Like I just get inspired just reading about it. And and that's what inspires me to even post this type of stuff on the page, so other people can be inspired and see what people who look like them were able to do and what we can do today.
That's
Hmm.
major, and you touched on a major point. In an era of time where women weren't allowed to work, women weren't allowed to have a public education, right? Attend a
Hmm.
major university. It was seen as taboo.
Hmm.
So you're right. The history, Black history, is unique in itself, but the history and the power behind women in Black history is very powerful, and it's a lot they had to overcome, right?
Hmm.
If a woman wanted to go to a major university and get an education, that was seen as weird. That's strange. Why are you going to get an education? Your
Right.
place is to get married, get a husband, have some kids, and keep a home, and that's it.
Right.
That's end of the
Right.
story. That was the end of the story.
Hmm.
So you touched on it. You touched on it specifically.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
It's
that's
just, yeah.
I wouldn't have made a good slave. I'd have been running away all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. Most definitely me too.
How
Yeah.
how do we keep the Black dollar in circulation? How do we keep it flowing and growing and growing?
I think really just really supporting each other. When I say support, I mean really just financially supporting each other, not just just talking about it, or just really really financially supporting each other, and really put the same way how we support the major brands and the luxury labels and all that, really showing that same support. Like I like my
Gucci.
thing. Yeah, like my thing is, when I get to a point, like I want to be able to, when I see, you hear the songs and you hear the names being dropped, these major labels. Like I want to start hearing more Black owned labels being represented, just like the luxury brands. So I'm like, that's my thing. When I get to that point to be able to do that, like I want to be able to go and buy out. Let's take a group of people and go buy out a Black owned boutique. Let's go buy out a Black owned what I don't know, whatever it is. Let's just shut the whole website down, flood it with sales every day, though,
Ooh.
not just on we pick one day. Like let's make this the norm. So that's the way I see it, to really keep the Black dollar circling, just really financially supporting each other. Hmm.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. And I
Hmm.
want to give a shout out to our sponsors here. Thank you, sponsors, for joining the show. Thank you for supporting the show. We appreciate you. Your sponsorship allows us to connect and find great guest speakers like Miss Adrena. And Miss Betty, I want to thank you. You are finally here. Miss Betty is what I call Black AF.
Hmm.
I can't say it on the show, but Betty is very, very pro Black, and she's very pro women. So Thank you, Betty, for tuning in. We have the incredible Miss Adrena Martin. If you've missed any of this episode, she has talked about, if you're just tuning in, she just broke down who's her favorite Black historical figure, who she supports, who and how we keep the Black dollar in circulation, and her story on what get her started in starting her brand historically black since. This young lady, Miss Adrena, has been an entrepreneur since diapers, right? Practically. And she is changing the game. So if you've missed any of that, please check it out live on YouTube. What is, let's debunk this myth. Isn't it HBCU, right? HBCU colleges are predominantly Black, but some people believe that it's it's segregation. It's modern day segregation to have a school system or a major university basically have Black people in it. Let's debunk that myth. How is that true? Is that facts?
It's definitely not true. And so I would definitely encourage for anybody who says that to look up the history of HBCUs and why they were even started in the first place. We couldn't get into their schools. So we created, our own institutions were created for us. And so, it's definitely not segregated. And so, and I've seen, people have to debate online and people, say, well, other races aren't welcome. Well, there are a lot of other races in HBCUs. Like, it's not just, of course, it's historically Black and it's mostly Black, but they're like, even when I was in college, we had, other Caucasian people in the band and, serving and other different things. So it's not, it's other races, but of course, no, it's to answer your question, no, it's definitely not segregation at all. No. But I tell people once again, do your history and look up why these institutions were founded. Mm-hmm.
I love that. What are some jobs or career advantages of attending an HBCU or having my daughter attend an HBCU?
Yeah, so I mean, the same advantages and careers that you would get from a PWI, you get those same opportunities from HBCU. And I think that's one of the things too. Like, a lot of people think that, or if I go to HBCU, I can't get certain type of things. Like, we've even on our page, we've shared a post, and it was actually a Twitter thread, and there was a young lady, and she was saying how she wanted to go to a HBCU, but her parents, I think her mom may have went to a PWI, maybe her dad, one of her parents went to a HBCU and the other one went to a PWI. But the other one, they pretty much talked her into going to a PWI because they wanted her to be able to get a certain type of job. They felt like she can only get this if she goes to this certain school. And she was basically saying how she regretted not going to an HBCU because, she was influenced by, her parents. And so that's the main thing I want people to get. Like, you can become what you want to be from an HBCU. I mean, look who we have in the White House right now. We have an HBCU graduate. I mean, it don't get no bigger than that. So it's like, well, like I said, where can your HBCU degree take you? Definitely straight to the White House and anywhere else you wanted to take you. So yeah, so you can, the same opportunities that you would get from PWI, you get those same things from an HBCU.
I love that. I love that. What is a book that you recommend every man, or since this is Woman Month, every woman should read?
Okay, my bag. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, can you repeat that one more time? Okay.
No problem. We're good. What is a book that you recommend every man or woman should read?
I would definitely say so many. So there's a book, I'm actually looking at it right now. It's called The Laws of Human Nature, and it's by Robert Greene. And he's a guy who wrote the 48 Laws of Power. And so this book, it's basically, it teaches you to understand why people think the way they do. Why do people do certain things the way they do? And it just breaks down really like the human mind and the human just interactions. It really just helps you understand people on a different level. That's one. What else? I got so many books I've done. Let me think. There's another book. It's called No Excuses, and it's by, oh man, I should have, but it's called No Excuses. I'm going to send it to you when I find the author. But basically, what that book talks about is really just creating a disciplined life for yourself and not making excuses as to why you can't do the things that you want to do, why you can't become successful. So definitely those two books for sure I would recommend.
Absolutely. What's your favorite way to give back to the community?
I would say creating opportunities, what's the one song when I think it's called Boss, when Jay-Z in the verse and he says, I look at success when you're putting basically he was saying you're successful when you're putting other people on, and you're providing opportunities for other people, and basically you're still broke if you're the richest person in your circle. So for me, being able to create opportunities for other people and not just say, okay, yeah, I made it. Okay, but who else did I help? Who else did I help make, X amount of money, because it's not just about what you can do for yourself, but how are you impacting the community? So I would definitely encourage anybody here, think about impact. Don't just think about, I want to get rich or I want to get this so that I can be okay. Think about what you can leave and legacies that you can create for the next generation. So yes.
Impact. I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that. Giving back. Lastly, I wanted to ask, what's this video? Happy 130 years to North Carolina Agriculture and Technical State University. I see kumbaya. I see a wave. What are we doing here? I love it. I'm gonna heart it anyway.
Man. This is like this video here is like the essence of HBCU culture. So this is swag surf. So you have you ever, okay, let me ask you, have you been to an HBCU before?
Shame on me. Are you gonna take my black card? I have not.
Oh man. So look, you have got to, I'm gonna, fingers crossed, there's gonna be a homecoming this year, but I don't know where you're located, but you can find the nearest HBCU. And this is what we will be doing for homecoming. So it's basically what this is swag surf. And you've heard the song Swag Surfing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that song is like an HBCU. Oh, she's like a barely made.
I barely made the black card.
That song is like, I don't know. It's like we took that on. It's like the unofficial, almost theme song for HBCUs. Because as you can see in the video, when that song comes on, it instantly just, I don't care what the mood is. Like you can be in a room that's somber and sad. When that song comes on at an HBCU, it instantly just lifts up the mood. It's like family, people that, they waving side to side. I mean, it's just literally like it. I think this video explains the HBCU culture in one video right here. Family, fun, and we look out for each other. I think, yeah, this is the perfect representation. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that whole vibe. I appreciate you breaking that down because I almost lost my black card, y'all. I was nervous. I was sweating, y'all. I was nervous. Oh my gosh. How can my audience connect with you? How can we support you? How can we uplift what you're doing, Miss Adrena, and can grow with you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So follow us on Instagram at Historically Black Sense for sure. Historically Black Sense. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. I think our Twitter is since HBCU. We're not really that active. I don't really do Twitter like that. But if you just want to follow us, we're there. But definitely Instagram and Facebook, and also our website, which is www.hbcusense.com. That's the best way to connect to us and reach out. We got a lot of great things coming up, a lot of content we're getting ready to put out. So definitely connect with us, and yeah. Stay tuned.
This is dope. Stay tuned. I'm gonna look for that crowd surfing. I'm gonna look for that wave. I gotta get my black on. Get my black on, y'all. Yeah. Miss Adrena, I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on the Gentleman Style Podcast show. I appreciate you. And I want to say to you personally, never, ever give up. Don't ever give up on what you're doing because we need you. The world is changed and influenced by you every single day. And we need what you're doing because the biggest thing, the unfortunate thing and the biggest thing and the good thing that came out of this COVID-19 recession is it made a lot of us realize that we need to come together because your job doesn't care about you. Your medical provider doesn't care about you. Your doctor don't care about you. So the only person left is your own. And I think we've seen the biggest movement with the riots, with the protesting, with the death of Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. All these things have brought us closer together, which we should have been all along.
Right,
And,
right. Hmm.
and so thank you for shining a light since 2015, shining a light on what should have been the most important piece all along.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you as well. And you keep doing what you do. This is nice. I love the platform. This is nice.
I appreciate you. I work hard.
Hmm.
I work hard. Lord, I work hard.
Well, I feel
Thank you.
you.
Thank you all, my audience, for tuning into the Gentleman Style Podcast show. I hope this has served you, and she has been a blessing to me. I know she's been a blessing to you all. And we hope to get her back on the show in the future. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Like I always end every show, take care of your families, take care of your business, and take care of business. This is Gentleman Style Podcast. Your host, Marcus Norman, and Miss Adrena Martin signing off. Love you guys.